Guardians of the Veil, Book 25, Shadows and Light, The Woven Chronicles. Chapter 1, Awakening the Loom. Amidst the dim veil of Tethered City, where the exhale of steam mingled with the dying light, Aidan found himself in a momentary world of hushed reverence. The city coupled mechanical grandeur with timeless magic, both vibrant and subdued, offering a paradox of innovation bound intricately with the arcane. Here, shadows stretched their languid fingers across cobblestone paths, cloaked in the perpetual twilight that shielded the metropolis from the sun's scrutiny. This was a stage of confluence, where the ethereal fabric of the loom of shadows whispered its existence into being. Aidan's footsteps were a metronome against this rhythmic backdrop, a comforting certainty in an uncertain world. With an analytical mind honed amidst towers of gears and cogs, he was accustomed to deciphering the symphony of mechanics. Yet today, his gaze sought the sky, where constellations shimmered with secrets and truth, prophecies etched across the celestial canvas. These signs would provide the foreshadowing he needed, for whispers had emerged of a danger long forgotten, a call that tugged at the filaments of time and fate. It was beneath this sky that Aidan first felt the tremor, a pulse vibrating through the air, a resounding echo of the loom's awakening. His heart mirrored the rhythm, an involuntary resonance with a power beyond comprehension, coaxing hidden potential from its slumber. The city's alleys, nooks, and linear streets seemed to merge, guiding him along a path of inevitable discovery. Aidan's purpose aligned with that of his companions, Lena, Tom, and Kira, a cohort connected by shared destinies and individual trials. As he made his way toward the clockwork atrium, a central enclave of mechanical wonders and magical artifacts, each step further embedded him in the threads of a story ominously re-emerging. It was Lena, gifted with visions as enigmatic as they were profound, who had first sensed the loom's stirrings. She met Aidan at the atrium's entrance, her eyes reflecting galaxies of foreboding. Her visions, once clear tapestries, now fragmented, each thread a potential path as divergent as the city's own destinies. "The stars are restless," Lena murmured, her voice a gentle weave within a cacophony of ambient sounds. "Their patterns shift. Sometimes they promise salvation, other times." Her words trailed into silence, a testament to the uncertainties that veiled their fate. Aidan nodded, feeling the burden of decoding these celestial prophecies intertwine with his mission. "We must understand the loom, its desires, its tales," he replied, his resolve solidifying as he spoke. "Perhaps the stars can guide us, elucidating the arcane beneath their brilliance." Their silence was broken by the arrival of Tom, his presence as steadfast as the fabric of loyalty that wove his character. Betrayal lurked like a phantom within his trusted inner circle, testing bonds and friendships once thought unbreakable. Yet here he stood, a pillar of resolve amidst swirling doubts. "Every mechanical mechanism has a flaw, a break in the pattern," Tom observed, as his gaze scanned their surroundings. "Even the loom of shadows must have its vulnerabilities." Aidan contemplated this, the possibilities expanding through the prism of Tom's insight. Yet he knew that merely uncovering weakness would not ensure their salvation. The loom demanded more than surface solutions. It sought understanding and empathy, a synthesis of mind and heart. Finally, Kira joined them, her gaze sharp, her mind a labyrinth of strategies. Her strategic brilliance, though occasionally ruthless, illuminated paths through the city's tensions. Yet, she stood at a crossroads, her ethics weighed against calculated resolve. "The loom's allure is a siren's song," Kira noted, her voice measured, thoughtful. "We dance upon its threads, each step a choice, for power, for unity, for redemption." With this, the Fellowship embarked on their journey through the arcane city's heart, seeking the elusive loom that had yet to reveal its full form. As they navigated this intricate fabric, Aidan knew that their task was not simply to save the tethered city from shadows, but to reweave its narrative, to craft a future where magic and mechanics harmonized, a world defined by balance rather than division. Their saga was unfolding, alive with potential and peril, where alliances would be forged and tested, destinies determined, and heroes defined not by might, but by the humanity brightly illuminating the path through darkness. Chapter 2. Threads of Conflict. Aidan felt the weight of the tethered city pressing down upon his shoulders as he navigated the labyrinthine alleys of his steampunk metropolis. The once familiar rhythm of steam and gears felt discordant now, out of sync with the ominous whispers of the loom of shadows that haunted his thoughts. This ancient tapestry, now pulsating with a dangerous allure, beckoned him to uncover its secrets. Yet such whispers carried dual truths, paths of salvation and damnation interwoven in its threatening embrace. As Aidan tread carefully through the city's mechanical heart, the familiar clatter of clockwork machines seemed to echo with new meaning, underscoring a tension that hung thick in the air. The shrouded alleys, normally buzzing with the industrious hum of invention, now seemed to brood in the shadow of unseen forces. The city's pulse was a throbbing reminder of the delicate equilibrium teetering on the brink of collapse, a tableau of steampunk innovation, now threatened by a resurgence of arcane legacies. The Shade's presence loomed ominously over the city, an elusive shadow intent on fraying the bonds of trust that Aidan and his allies had forged. This cunning adversary wielded the tools of deception and magic, their tricks echoing through the hearts of those who walked alongside Aidan. Trust, once an unspoken currency among the group, now felt strained, evidenced by the fissures that appeared in the relationships with his companions. Lena walked alongside Aidan, her gaze distant, haunted by visions that had increasingly become unreliable. The clarity she once found in her prophetic abilities had shattered into disjointed images, a kaleidoscope of diverging prophecies that tugged her between visions of doom and hope. Her frustration and fear wove a web of uncertainty, casting doubt upon her own insights. Yet Lena's presence was a constant, a reminder to Aidan that faith need not rely solely on empirical evidence. Sometimes the stars tell stories, Aidan, but they are just possibilities, not certainties, Lena confided, her voice holding a tremor of vulnerability. We must choose our path between them. Aidan nodded, understanding that embracing uncertainty was part of their journey, even as every logical part of him cried out for definitive answers. Tom, whose steadfast loyalty had served as Aidan's anchor, now found himself ensnared by betrayal. Rumors of treachery whispered within his trusted circle, pressing upon him the need to question alliances once thought inviolable. His struggle with loyalty weighed heavily, a test of integrity amid the chaos threatening to dismember the trust within their team. Your intuition has guided us before, Aidan, Tom remarked, the weight of his words heavy, but beware that shadows nest even in the brightest places. The forewarning struck a chord with Aidan. It was a poignant reminder that vigilance was paramount. Even those cloaked in camaraderie could harbor secret motives. Meanwhile, Kira's sharp strategic brilliance faced ethical crossroads, her decisions now entangled with moral ambiguity. As tensions escalated, the tactical maneuvers she was famed for began to tread upon boundaries she hadn't anticipated testing. The call for strategy and the need for empathy clashed, presenting dilemmas that challenged her, and by extension Aidan, to balance duty with conscience. Every move we make is bound by ramifications, Aidan, Kira mused, as she paced the confines of their shared decisions. Strategy without heart can corrode the very essence of what we represent. The truth in her words resounded deeply. Unity, forged through empathy and understanding, was stronger than supremacy established through cunning alone. As the team pressed further into the city's heart, traversing decrepit districts and past industrial towers in search of answers, the fragility of their alliances intensified. Their journey, fraught with danger, became a crucible not only for personal growth, but also for the bonds binding them together against the backdrop of a looming storm, one that bore the name of the Shade and whispered through the threads of fate spun by the loom. Beneath the clouded skies, pulsing with the loom's arcane energy, amidst the city's rhythmic cadence of gears, Aidan began to recognize the intricate tapestry within which they all played their parts. Their mission was more than a battle of logic against mysticism. It was a quest to weave a unified purpose from threads of disparate desires and divergent destinies. It called upon them to tether hope amidst the shadows and pen a collective destiny, one capable of overshadowing darkness with dauntless light. Chapter 3. The Weight of Truth. In the lush confines of the tethered city, where the interweaving of gears and enchantment forms the very tapestry of reality, Aidan found himself tangled in the intricate web spun by the loom of shadows. Its enigmatic power, a blend of revelation and deception, pulled at the underpinnings of the city, whispering promises of insight while casting ominous shadows over the hearts of its inhabitants. Aidan stood with Lena, Tom, and Kira on the outskirts of an ancient district, its cobbled streets murmuring tales of epochs long past, echoing the struggles and triumphs of those who had once strode upon them. This enclave, now shrouded in a mist imbued with the shimmer of gold and silver steam, was thrumming with a mix of magic and mechanized rhythmic pulsing. The city was indeed alive, a symphony of potential waiting to be harnessed or undone. The group had gathered to decode the cryptic patterns left by the Shade, their cunning adversary who loomed in the shadows. The plotting of the Shade aimed to aggravate the fractures within their alliances. Each member bore their own burdens, Lena struggling with the fog that clouded her visions, Tom facing the betrayal that twisted the circles he trusted, and Kira, whose stratagems were challenged by unforeseen ethical quagmires. Tom, his silhouette sharp against the backdrop of glistening spires, raised a hand as if attempting to grasp the ephemeral tension in the air. Every mechanical mechanism has a flaw, a break in the pattern, he mused, echoing his earlier thoughts. Even the loom of shadows must have its vulnerabilities. A rational approach remains, Aidan replied, though his voice carried the weight of uncertainty layered within their current conundrum. He was caught between worlds. His mind yearned for the harmony promised by the patterns in the sky, while his heart was drawn into the dance of threat surrounding the loom's power. Kira, analytical eyes scanning the horizon's vast tapestry of fate, nodded in solidarity. Identifying its flaws is crucial, but we must tread lightly. Our recognition of the loom's manipulation can lead us to deconstruct the narrative the Shade intends to weave. Lena, standing quietly at Aidan's side with visions glinting behind her eyelids, murmured wisdom enveloped with ethereal foresight. It reveals both what has been and what is to come. Splinters of possibilities speak root truths only the soul may discern. Their disparate understandings, each a strand in a larger narrative, converged as the group made their way deeper into the heart of the tethered city, its tendrils of steam wafting skyward, whispering secrets to the looming brass-lit dusk. The air hummed with intensity, a siren call summoning those who dared the pathways spanning knowledge and faith. As they navigated the twisting conduits beneath a city, exhaling nostalgia and innovation, the intimate interplay of sound burgeoned and resonated. From high above, the mechanical drone of dirigibles mingling with notes of forgotten arcana cemented how reliant this city was on both past knowledge and the courage to envision the yet unwritten future. Within the marrow of the city, secrets unveiled themselves slowly. The companions chanced upon a hidden access panel, its brass surface gleaming beneath the flicker of shimmering crystals. The interface, an interplay of etched runes and reality-weaving technology, posed questions that required communion between intuition and empirical thought. Kira's lithe fingers danced over the engraved surface, each touch eliciting a tactile chime that vibrated across the panel's expanse. "It's a matrix of interconnected pathways," she observed, leaning into her role as interpreter. "Every decision branches out, a juxtaposition of variables reliant on the fundamental truth anchoring reality." Aidan observed quietly, the combination of logic and magic revealing faded echoes reminiscent of familiar melodies. "Pointless operations reveal unintended destinies," he noted, a realization not just of fact, but feeling. Lena's eyes flicked open, starved for light and understanding, whispering warmly into their circle. "A harrowing path shall rise along ours. Anticipation hints at decisions choices sever from their given course." Tom's sure, steady gaze rested on the intricate puzzle of their city, its vast depth proving a mirror that revealed their internal struggles. "There are no sureties," he affirmed with tensile strength, "only the courage granted by the willingness to face our vulnerabilities." Their collective will interlocked like the city's own tapestry, a weave of individuality designed to craft a stable unity, bleeding into extraordinary resilience. The four of them, bands of confidence and doubt, fingers intertwined to steady spiraling uncertainties, stood poised at the brink of convergence, a tantamount precipice from which acting further would define the outcome of shrouded narratives entwined. Yet just as the darkness threatened to encircle them, the wisdom accrued through trials lit the possibilities housed within. The loom of shadows, whose tendrils seemed to extend light's tethered embrace, offered not only threat, but if guided with diligence and insight, transformation and understanding. Their perseverance and evolving knowledge wove a tapestry charged with both faith and determined clarity. Standing guard over their crossroads upon destiny's thread-wrought precipice, their hearts beat as one, their symbiotic blend of mortal intuition flowing together amidst a storm of luminescence and shadow, cloaked in the choirs of unity. And so, with every choice hinging upon the horizon cast in bronze and whispers of purity, Aiden and his companions moved forward not merely to save the tethered city from what loomed, but to reweave its narrative with patterns of unalterable grace, determined to weave a future, an era, a redemption worthy of their shared destiny. Chapter 4. Tapestry of Destiny. The sun had sunk below the horizon, casting the tethered city into a tapestry of shadows and twinkling lights. The rhythmic clamour of pistons and gears formed an industrial symphony, pulsating with a life of its own. Aiden stood atop one of the city's many overlooks, surveying the architectural marvel that stretched before him, a sprawling steampunk wonder set amidst the meditative hum of mystical energies. Yet serenity was elusive. The loom of shadows hung ominous in the sky above, its threads shimmering with a spectral allure. More than ever, its promises beckoned, offering power and dominion, yet demanding sacrifices that threatened the very essence of humanity. Aiden felt the pressure of choices yet to be made. Below, the city was a chaotic chessboard of ambitions and fears, alliances and betrayals. Each thread woven into its fabric tugged against the tension, ready to unravel with the slightest misstep. The rogue figure of the Shade still prowled the city's underbelly, weaving deceit through the bonds of Aiden's closest friends and allies. Lena's visions continued their dance of dizziness, flickering from redemption to ruin with each fleeting moment. Tom, grounded but beset by the sting of betrayal, struggled to separate perception from truth. And Kira, tactically brilliant but morally at war with herself, found her calculations increasingly complex in a city on the brink. The air was charged with potential, a living current running through the city's mechanical arteries, fueling the spiritual and tangible forces. Aiden felt a flicker of hope, an ember nearly extinguished but glowing nonetheless. It whispered of a path not carved by domination or submission of the loom, but by an embrace of unity, one that threaded intellect with emotion, arcane with machine. Resolved, Aiden descended into the labyrinthine streets, his path illuminated by the ceremonial glow of gaslights flickering to life. Through cooperation built on trust and shared humanity, they would confront the heart of chaos. His friends awaited, forming the other beams of light scattered throughout the encroaching night. Their journey led them to the heart of the city, the locus where magic converged with machinery, where the Shade had made its final stand. Above, the sky roiled with arcane storms, a jagged scar against the heavens, and the air pulsated under the weight of climactic anticipation. In the eye of the storm, they found the Shade, cloaked in enigma and darkness, commanding threads of power with an ease that mocked their efforts. The time had come for a reckoning, where unity's strength would face its greatest adversary. With a gesture woven from courage, not conquest, Aiden sparked a harmony of collective understanding, a communion between disparate souls bound by hope. Lena, embracing the fluidity of her visions, illuminated paths previously unseen. Tom, drawing from loyalty's wellspring, fortified splintered alliances. And Kira, through strategic insight tempered by empathy, unlocked potential and paths to deliberate harmony. In a sphere resonating with electrical possibility, the loom's allure was shattered, not by force, but by revelation. Threads of past fears and future hopes intertwined, forging a vibrant tapestry of destinies reshaped by trust and resilience. Ida, renouncing isolation, chose to lead through understanding and cooperation. As the city held its breath on the brink, the anthem of their triumph resounded, not in the silence of domination, but in the chorus of unity. Tethered City's heart, pulsating with newfound vigor, merged the primordial and modern to fashion an era reborn from the ashes of anticipated conflict. In this convergence of innovation and insight, the air thrummed with harmony, marking the dawn of potential born from light's enduring embrace. And so the loom whispered its final embrasure, a tale of destinies woven together by love, knowing that tomorrow's tapestry would be one of boundless hope, illuminated by the collective spirit of humanity. Thank you for listening to My Ghostwriter.